Hey everyone, Clay from Brooklyn, Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue, here with the NFC East report. And first of all, let me give you the weather report. It is brick outside, brick. That's why I got all these layers on. All Giants layers, of course, but all these layers on because I am not playing. It's cold. Anyway, the NFC East report is going to start off with the 1 o'clock game between the Ravens coming to visit us. And Mazo and I will talk about that in great detail later. The Ravens are 8-5, and as you know, we're 2-11, but we'll get to that game later. Another 1 o'clock game is the Commanders are traveling down to New Orleans to play the Saints. Yes, the same team we just played. They have flip-flop records. Commanders come in with an 8-5 record. The Saints are 5-8. The Commanders don't have very many injuries. Wide receiver Noah Brown and tight end Zach Ertz and defensive end Cleveland Farrell didn't practice this week, but that's not bad for this late in the season. For the Saints, certainly quarterback Derek Carr is not going to play this week. We saw what he did in the game against us last week to his left hand. And Alvin Kamara, their featured running back, has not practiced this week. So those are some concerns for the Saints. The Commanders come in fourth in the league in points scored with 28.9 points per game and 17th in the league in points allowed with 22.8 points per game allowed. The Saints come in 17th in the league in points scored with 22.3 points per game and 14th in the league, tied 14th in the league in points allowed with 22.5. So those are the raw numbers and the injuries. Obviously, the Commanders have been struggling the last few weeks. They got off to a great start and haven't been playing quite so well the last month or so. We'll see where that takes them. The Saints are holding on to very, very, very faint playoff hopes, but that division is so weak that they actually still have a shot. Okay, and then another 1 o'clock game is that Dallas goes down to Carolina to play the Panthers. Dallas comes in with their 5-8 record. The Panthers are 3-10. Dallas is 21st in the league in points scored and 31st, next to last, in points allowed. They score 20 points a game and they give up 28 points a game. The Panthers come in 28th in the league in points scored. They scored just under 18 points a game, and they are dead last. Yes, they are right behind Dallas in points allowed, giving up 29.8 points per game, just under 30 points a game. So that's a battle of two teams who can't stop anybody. So who knows what the score is going to be there. Dallas has a couple of key players on the injured list. Rookie linebacker DeMarvion Overshown is out for the season. Inside linebacker Eric Kendricks and rookie center Cooper Beebe have not practiced this week. As for the limited participants, cornerback Jordan Lewis and Trayvon Diggs have not practiced this week. Neither has all-pro wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. So those could be problems for Dallas. On the Carolina side, Jadeveon Clowney and Chuba Hubbard and A'Shawn Robinson, former Giant A'Shawn Robinson, have not practiced this week. And limited participants are linebacker DJ Wanham and cornerback JC Horn. So that is the Dallas at Carolina game. Carolina is only one game behind us in the draft position race. So I'm rooting for Carolina. I would be rooting for them anyway because I hate Dallas. The 4:25 p.m. game is going to be a clash of the Titans between the 10-3 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling down to Philly to play the 11-2 Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams are doing very, very well this year, and that should be a really good game. The Steelers come in 10th in the league in points scored. They're scoring 24.8 points per game. They are 5th in the league in points allowed. They only give up 18 points a game. The Eagles come in 8th in the league in points scored. They're scoring 26.3 points a game, and they are tied for 2nd in the league in points allowed. They only give up 18 points a game. Pittsburgh gives up 18.3 points, and believe it or not, that's a pretty big difference in the rankings from 2nd to 5th for 0.3 points per game. So they're both very good on defense, is what I'm saying, and they're both very good on offense, so this should be a great game. As far as injuries, the DNPs did not practice list for Pittsburgh is pretty long. Najee Harris, Cam Hayward, George Pickens, Patrick Queen, Isaac Seumalo, TJ Watt, and wide receiver Mike Williams. All of them have not practiced this week. That's a lot of really significant players for Pittsburgh, so that's going to go a long way to determining how strong they are for this game. The Eagles DNPs are Mekhi Becton, A.J. Brown, safety Sidney Brown, Landon Dickerson, C.J. G.J., Lane Johnson, D. Slay, and Josh Sweat. So they also have a pretty lengthy injury list. And limited participants are sensational defensive tackle Jalen Carter, who I wanted us to draft. Don't get me started. Another safety, Reed Blankenship, and rookie cornerback and slash safety Cooper DeJean. So they both are coming into the game, this battle for Pennsylvania, with a lot of people hurt, and we'll see how many of them actually play, but that should be a very competitive game between two really good teams. Okay, so now I want to talk about the trivia questions. Last week's trivia question was, which wide receiver has the highest yards per catch in NFL history? And you might have taken from that in the context that it was probably a Giant. And it is, in fact, Homer Jones, who did average 22.3 yards per catch for his career, which is insane. That's the highest yards per catch in the history of the NFL. So if anybody ever talks to you about who the great wide receivers for the Giants are, if they don't mention Homer Jones, they're either really young or really wrong or both. Okay, this week's question. Which three New York Giants are tied for the most kickoff returns for touchdowns while playing for the Giants? And how many touchdown returns did they have? So again, the question is, which three New York Giants are tied for the most kickoff returns for touchdowns as a New York Giant? And how many touchdown returns is that? Okay, so that's this week's trivia question. That's this week's NFC East report. Again, Play from Brooklyn, Football with the Fellas, all about Big Blue. Drop a comment, answer the trivia question, share, like, all those good things. And I'm out.
Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.